everyone. Good evening, and welcome to Friday Night Film Noir. Tonight we are going to be discussing the movie Sudden Fear. It came out in 1952, directed by David Miller, distributed by RKO, stars Joan Crawford, Jack Palance, and Gloria Grame, to name a few. Love Joan Crawford and I love Jack Palance. So here is the plot. Myra Hudson is an acclaimed playwright who marries an actor from her most recent play. Myra overhears her hubby talking to his mistress about murdering for her money. Myra hatches a plan to get revenge first, but can she carry out her evil plan? Notes. This movie was up for several movie nominations, such as Best Actress, Leading Role, Joan Crawford. Joan was also nominated for a Golden Globe for Best Actress. Jack Palance was nominated for Best Actor in a Supporting Role. However, neither of them received an award. I'd also like to mention this film is based on a novel by Edna Sherry called Sudden Fear. So, let's get to the juice. Let's get to the spoiler. Myra Hudson, Joan Crawford, is a successful Broadway playwright who rejects Lester Blaine, Jack Palance, as the lead in her new play. Later, she meets Lester on a train bound for San Francisco and is swept off her feet, and after a brief courtship, she marries him. Lester is unaware that Myra is making changes to her will, which will ensure he would inherit everything. She has begun dictating these alterations into her personal dictating machine, but is interrupted when guests begin to arrive for the evening. She forgets to turn the machine off, and later, when Lester and his longtime lover, Irene Neves, Gloria Grame, are in Myra's study, they find the original will, which stipulates that the bulk of her fortune be left to a foundation. Irene suggests Myra's murder, and unknown to the couple, their subsequent plotting is recorded. Now, Myra hears the recording and is devastated. But in her haste to take the incriminating record to others, she drops it and it breaks. So she has no proof. Frantically trying to think, how to proceed, Myra suddenly has an idea. She concocts a scheme of her own to kill Lester and place the blame on Irene. Using her writing skills, she sets out a plan. But the complex timing, so she herself is assured an alibi, starts to unravel. Then, while hiding in Irene's apartment, she has faked a message to Irene from Lester, arranging that they meet elsewhere. And so while she's told Lester to come to Irene's apartment, posing as Irene, Myra catches her reflection in a mirror and is horrified at the sight of herself holding a gun. She decides to abandon the plan. But it's too late. Lester has learned of Myra's intentions, and after life and death shifts in everybody's murderous aims, ultimately ends up chasing Myra in his car through the streets of San Francisco. On foot, Myra is able to avoid him, although he gets out of the car to chase her, and she has to hide. He returns to the car and drives around looking for her. Unbeknownst to him, Irene is returning to her house, wondering why Lester hasn't showed up. And he eventually mistakes Irene for Myra. They are dressed alike with similar coats and each wearing a silk headscarf. He aims the car at the woman. Myra, seeing this at the last minute, shouts to stop him before it is too late. Lester crashes, killing both himself and Irene. Myra breathes a sigh of relief as she walks safely off into the night. Woo! My friends! This movie is so good. I will watch this movie again and again and again. It is so good. Of course it is. It has Joan Crawford in it. Come on. So let's talk about the notes that I personally made of this movie. I'm not used to seeing Jack Palance so young. It shocked me at first, gotta admit. Love the banter between Joan and Jack. They're so cute together in the beginning. I could tell Joan put a lot of herself into the character Myra Hudson. I love the old train. I grew to hate Lester Blaine. He's such a villain in this film. I love Myra's house. Acting is superb by all Very suspenseful and dramatic. I love Joan in this film. How she goes from sadness to fear to anger is so good. The end is a total nail biter, and I loved it though. This is a spectacular film noir, in my opinion, everybody. So let me tell you my favorite quote of the film, and this comes from Myra, aka Joan Crawford. Quote, "I haven't even got my lipstick on. A woman has to wear lipstick. I feel positively naked without it." Unquote. All right, that's going to do it for tonight's Film Noir review of Sudden Fear. You can find this on Turner Classic Movies right now, or Tubi, Tubi. It's an app on the, if you have a Roku TV, you can download the app. It's under the Film Noir category. Thank you so much for watching.
Now. He's looking at you, kid.